I'm going to show you how to lacto-ferment ingredients. Now you can do this with loads of different fruits and vegetables, but today I'm going to do some strawberries. That's where I'm going now. I'm going to our local farm to pick up some strawberries.
When lactofermenting, it's important to start off with good quality ingredients. This isn't a way to make out-of-date ingredients seem fresher, and likewise, it's not a way of turning low-quality fruit into high-quality fruit. In fact, we're not making these strawberries any better than they were fresh from the punnet, which is why it's important to start off with excellent quality ingredients. Our food, after all, will never be better than the ingredients that it's made from. So what are we doing here? Well, we're changing these strawberries from one ingredient into a new one with different characteristics. These new lactose strawberries will have an enhanced acidic, umami, salty vibe about them, and although that might sound strange, it will bring a lot of flavour to a load of different dishes. So begin by chopping up your fruit and weighing them. Whatever the weight of your fruit, we need to measure out 2% of that weight as non-iodized salt. So if you have 1000 grams of fruit, you'll need 20 grams of salt. This salt is going to stop harmful microbes from colonising our fruit. Thankfully, the lactobacteria which are going to ferment our fruit are very tolerant of high salt levels. Add the salt to your fruit and give it a good stir. Let it rest for about 10 minutes or so and stir again. The salt should pull juices from the fruit, which the salt will then dissolve into. While this is happening, label a clean jar and remember to include the date. The fruit and salty liquid can all be poured into your jar. You'll need some kind of weight to keep the fruit submerged beneath the brine. I use clean stones for this, but small items of tableware such as ramekins can also work well. Put your weight on top of the strawberries, ensuring all of the fruit is submerged. Close the lid, but make sure it's not airtight. It's important that gases produced during fermentation can escape. If you have a kilner jar like me, you can just remove the rubber seal. Now move your jar somewhere out of direct sunlight. The room temperature isn't especially important, but warmer temperatures will result in faster fermentation. My fermentation room is currently sitting at around 23 degrees Celsius. Over the next day or two, the salt will extract more juices from the fruit, so if your fruit wasn't fully submerged to begin with, it should be by now. The longer you ferment your produce, the more acidic it will become. And although some acidity is desirable, if you let it go too far, it will become unpalatable. So taste your ferment every few days and stop it at a point where you're happy with it. My strawberries took about a week. When you're happy, strain your berries through a sieve. They can then be frozen for long-term storage or used fresh. Lacto-fermented ingredients are very potent, so I'm going to use a very small amount blended with fresh fruit in this dessert that I'm making. You can see the fermentation removes a lot of colour from the fruit. I'm adding a bit of vegan chocolate custard. I make it set by using agar. There's actually very little fat in this dish. While they're cooling in the fridge, I'm going to strain the fermented strawberry juice. This will be great in dressings, marinades and so on. I'm going to freeze this too, as I'll only be using a small amount at a time. Okay, let's finish this dessert off. I'm calling it a burnt chocolate pot, and it's absolutely incredible. The saltiness of the fermented fruit really enhances the caramelized sugar on top, and the acidity from the lactic acid really balances out the sweetness of the fresh strawberries. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, and maybe you'll try a bit of lactofermentation yourself. Bye!
That's amazing.